guys, welcome to the Save Continue podcast, where we get together and talk about video games, video game related stuff, other things of interest. As always, I'm Shanae Howard, and with me is Tommy Shelby.
Hello.
And Ryan Robinson.
Hi.
So I have some sad news.
Uh-oh.
I have not beaten Lord of the Rings. No, I have not. I have not beaten Tears of the Kingdom. Yet, but Berto is out of town for a full week on a project, and he took the Switch with him. So I have to wait a whole week before I can.
Yeah.
He asked me if I was okay with it, and I said I was.
You said no.
You should have said no.
And I regret ever being accommodating. I'll never do it again.
You shouldn't do that. You should never be accommodating to anyone, honestly.
Yeah, no, literally after he left, I grabbed the Switch Pro controller and tried to play Tears of the Kingdom and realized I couldn't.
Yeah.
I've told my kids before, this is real, I've told them don't help anybody ever.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. Because look what happens.
Great values.
Look what happens.
Yeah.
Now you don't get to play your Switch. So.
Yeah, now I'm just... I guess gonna have to boot up the PS5.
Yeah, that piece of junk.
That piece of shit.
Yeah.
There's no Zelda on that.
There's no fucking games on that fucking thing. You can't play no Zelda on that thing. You know?
Yeah. No, but instead, last night I started reading again, and I guess I can do that hobby too.
Yeah.
Were you reading about Zelda?
All right, a little bit, yes.
Okay.
Fanfic, most like.
No, I was actually rereading the story of Breath of the Wild because I had finished certain parts and I was like, I don't remember him being like this in the first game.
Like what?
Oh, Sidian? The Zora guy.
Sidon? Yeah.
Sidon.
Zordon?
Yeah, Zordon. Yeah, I was reading about how... But yeah, no, he was just super stoked to see Link, and I was like, were they? I was like, I don't remember their dialogue or really their relationship for the first game. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I was just reading that. But then I got... and then I remembered I had Kindle Unlimited, so I'm reading a bunch of shitty books now.
Nice.
That's what that's for.
Yep. What about you guys, though? What have y'all been doing? Or what have y'all been playing, and what are you planning on playing the next week?
So I've been playing through Pikmin, the first Pikmin, and that's still fun. Surprised at how well that game holds up. How are you
playing it?
On Switch.
Okay.
Yeah. During the last Direct, they released Pikmin 1 and 2 for Switch, and they're not really remasters. They're just kind of ports, you know? Mm-hmm. But they play fine. So I've been playing a little bit of that. I played through all the content, the newest content for Mario Kart that just came out. And they put that... You guys remember in Double Dash, that cruise ship level? Where you go through the dining room.
Wait, yes, I do remember that.
Chairs are sliding. Yeah,
I remember
they put
that
level in there.
Sounds vaguely familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's fun.
That explains why my sister's been inviting me to play this past week.
Yeah, the new Mario Kart stuff has been kind of all over social media, at least for me. But it's been fun. I like it, and it's part of the online expansion thing, so it's just there. But that's it, really. Not a lot of video games.
What about this upcoming week? Are there any that you're planning on playing or trying to progress to a certain point?
Not really. I mean, I'm sure I'll finish up Pikmin because Pikmin 1 is very, very short. And then maybe finish up Link's Awakening. But I don't know. It just depends. I feel like I've been busier recently than normal, so... Not a lot of video game time going on right now.
Sure. I've been there.
What about you, Ryan? What have you been playing? What are you guys planning on playing?
Yesterday, my wife and I played Sea of Thieves all day. that was a lot of fun. Then I tried out Loop Hero. Like yesterday morning, I tried out Loop Hero before she woke up,
It's a great game.
I'd always heard really good things about it, and I'm glad I finally got to play it. That game is very hard to put down.
Yeah.
I am unfamiliar.
So basically, you're this guy, this person, I should say. There's this person who wakes up in a world that has no sun and is dark all the time, and shit's real weird. And basically, you don't remember shit, but you are trying to survive this new world with some friends you've made along the way. And so you alternate between going into your little safe haven with these other people, and also going on what is known as expeditions. And expeditions are comprised of, they show you basically they show you a little map that's in some kind of loop, and then you watch your guy go around the loop. And when he encounters bad guys, he'll fight them. When he encounters chests, he'll open them. And as you're killing enemies, you'll get like more equipment to outfit your character with, and also you'll get cards that you can use to put like different things on the environment. Like you can put a graveyard that'll spawn skeletons, but also when you cross,
you're literally summoning everything.
Yeah,
like you're placing where enemies are and where
you have to be real careful about it, because if they're too concentrated, then like you're going to be like overwhelmed. So you have to be really strategic about it. But the advantage of putting these tiles down is that whenever you cross them, you get resources, and basically you're trying to get the resources to build up the facilities in your base, and you're kind of just going back and forth doing that. And so every time you go around the loop, you come to your little campsite, and then you get healed, and you replenish your potions if you have those. And then you decide, do you want to go back to base, or am I going to do the loop again? And basically trying to figure out, like, is it a good idea to do the loop, or should I just retreat back home because it's getting too fucking crazy on this map? And it's very engaging, especially considering the fact that like you're not actually fighting anything. You're not actually doing the combat. Everything is handled for you mostly automatically. The only thing that you control is whether or not you do another loop and where the tiles are placed, but everything else happens automatically.
It's really more like Sim City than an RPG.
Yeah,
you know?
But it's very fun. It's very fun, and it lends itself well to like short like sessions. If you like don't have a lot of time to play, you can go in, do a few loops, make a little progress, and put it down. But it's a lot of fun.
I'll be right there, honey. I gotta bust out a few loops.
You gotta do a few loops. Sometimes you gotta do a few loops just to get some stuff going, you know? But it's a really cool game. I love the music. The art style is really, really neat. So yeah, I like it a lot. And I also played Exoprimal for all of 10 minutes. It wasn't necessarily that I hated it, but I started feeling real like kind of queasy when I was playing it.
Why?
I don't know. Like I was playing it, and then I started feeling like real weird, and then I had to put it down. But I
think it's just motion sickness.
I don't know, because I don't typically get motion sickness outside of VR, so I'm not sure what it was.
You should see if there's a way to disable motion blur, which there probably is.
Yeah, I'll probably want to turn that off and see if that makes it any better. And I played 2 more games. I played High on Life, which is basically a Rick and Morty episode that you get to play. At least that's what it feels like. And it's mostly been okay so far. And then I tried Redfall, and so far it's whatever. And
what was the name of that fucking VR game that they did?
Fuck.
Not Trover Saves the Universe.
I thought that's what the one was. I thought that's what it was.
No, they did one before that.
I don't know.
That I platinumed, but I can't remember what the fuck it was called.
Yeah, I don't know.
But like, that was that. Like, as much as that comedy really gets old pretty fast, and it's always the same comedy, you know, that VR game was pretty fun. I just don't remember what the fuck it was called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, my only impression of Redfall so far is that it's fun staking the vampires, and that's about it. I mean, it's so far seems like a very strange game, but putting the stake in those vampires has been real cool. But I haven't played enough of it to have like a real opinion. But you know,
do you think you're going to play more of it?
I think I'm going to play a little bit more to see if, because it hasn't really like, I don't feel like it's really like hooked me in. Really, I'm kind of curious about it, and I want to see like if the combat gets more interesting than it currently seems to be. So I think I'm going to play a little bit more of it and see if like I really feel into it. But I'm not really feeling one way or another about it at this point. And then of course I played a ton of Street Fighter this week, so I had to because our air conditioner finally got fixed, and
now you can get all sweaty for a different reason.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's about it.
All right. So this week I wanted to talk to y'all about which game, like, I guess like the mass amount of deaths in video games. I don't know a good way to put it, but me and Berta were talking about Musos because I was talking about the Fire Emblem one, and it just got down to like, what video games do we think have like the most amount of deaths in them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then what did we like count, and then what we like considered as a countable death?
I mean, it's pretty clear what's countable, no?
Well, like, so what it was like, in my head, I was thinking like different rules. So like, I didn't consider like zombies, killing the undead as like a countable death.
Okay. That's weird, but sure.
Yeah, just arbitrary own personal rules, because this is just a thought experiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also like, did like aliens count, or like bugs count?
Yes, I think I definitely took the question like much more literally, you know?
Oh, no, that's fine.
If a life is snuffed out, then it counts.
Yeah, well, because like to me, it's like, okay, well, killing enemies, it's got to be something like Shanae said, like a Muso or EDF or something like that, right? Because
sure. like Musos win easily
over EDF. You think so?
They feel kind of like well, I don't know. I don't know if the bugs clump up as much as the guys in the Musos. Do they clump? Okay.
Yeah. But like EDF, you kill a lot, right? And yeah, Dynasty Warriors and all that shit, you kill a lot.
Yeah.
And then like as far as player deaths go, I'm like, okay, well, what games have I died a shit ton in? And it's like Spelunky.
Yeah,
you know?
For sure.
It's got to be, for me, it's got to be Spelunky.
Yeah.
But
I guess I gotta count like the tens of thousands of Mortal Kombat fatalities I bore witness to.
So that's also like, we didn't get that far into the conversation. He was like going to go play Diablo, but so I was thinking about more in my head, but I was like, all right, like, would fighting games count? Because like, it's the same character dying, even though it's like over and over and over again in new matches each time. You could say it's like different universes or whatever, but like, how does that affect the kill count?
I think it counts.
Because
I don't know, because you said like nothing online multiplayer, you know?
Yeah, because
like,
I was like,
if we can't count like COD or anything,
like
that,
we're not counting that guy Beefeater 69 that you killed,
right? Then maybe fighting games don't count. I don't know, but
I feel if Musos count, then fighting Mortal Kombat definitely counts.
Because if Muso's like, it is technically different enemies in the same playthrough. If you're not counting different playthroughs over and over again.
Okay, because the stipulation that I had heard was that in a fighting game you're basically killing the same guy over and over again, and I feel like I'm killing a lot of the same guy in Musos.
canonically,
But to
in
be
the
fair,
story,
I am killing different instances of that guy. So I guess that's different. So,
but and like canonically in a lot of these stories, they are like armies. So it's not, even though the sprite and the art is the same guy, it's not. They're not technically the same guy.
Yeah, you're not
they're
jumping
twins
on the same Goomba over and over again. There's many Goombas. They just look the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's fair.
I also wanted to bring it up, like World of Warcraft, because as far as MMOs go, like I would say it's probably the most extensive one and has the most like technical diversities. Like if you're not counting like the same dungeons over and over again, where it's like the same person, just different instances of it, but you're still like counting like all the quests, PvP, like even in the story, and like the wars that have happened. If you get to play any instances of those still count.
Can we count PvP in World of Warcraft if we're not counting PvP in Call of Duty?
No.
Because it's the same thing.
Technically, you should be right. Yeah. No, fair enough on that.
Okay, but like, if we're talking about player death, then it doesn't matter that it's the same character over and over, right? Because how many games do we play where we're a different character every time? Like, it would have to be Rogue Legacy,
Yeah. I thought about so for me, when I thought about it, I think about like how many video games that I play involve killing someone, which is like almost all of them. And so I guess I had to like distill it further for me, because it had to be like, because I played so many games over like the last almost 40 years that it's kind of hard to really nail down just one where I feel like, or like nail down a few where I felt like the most. But when I thought about it, I keep thinking about I thought about Darkest Dungeon and how many of my guys I sent into the dungeon to die.
And those all are different guys.
Yeah, those are different guys that are just, that I sent that one night in there. He went crazy and he died, but he took a bunch of people with him when he died. And then another night showed up. And so I think about stuff like that, where like I took it as like a game where the death like in some way like actually mattered to me. So that's where I went with it.
I don't know, like Sinead brought up like the one title that you dropped, Sinead, in our discussion before any of this was Ninja Gaiden,
Mm-hmm.
And like, you're not a different character every time in that. And
you're
like
you every time.
Right. And the character death does matter to me in those types of games, especially those types of games, right? Like old, hard 2D platformers, because like that's the whole game. You're just learning with each death,
Yeah.
The pattern of the enemies.
Right. But
I also, was like, I guess, so the more restrictions were just to like give other branches of video games more ability to say that they have a lot of deaths in them.
Yeah.
Because I was also thinking about because I mentioned also what game do you think has the most named character deaths in it? Because I was because thinking more of the lines of games like Hitman or Assassin's Creed or something along the lines of that, or Dishonored, where you like have targets and you know their names and they're like part of the story.
Yeah, I think that it's going to come down to either like you said, Tanae, a game like that where like every NPC is named, or a game like Rogue Legacy, where it's the player character's death, and that just depends on how good or bad you are at those games, you know. But like,
and Dishonored also depends on the approach you take too.
That's true.
Yeah, but I think like most people playing those like side-scrolling roguelikes are going to die a lot, you know.
Tons.
Be that Spelunky or Rogue Legacy or whatever.
Yeah.
But
Darkest Dungeon.
It's weird because like it actually forced me to think about it, and then I realized how little I think about how much people die in video games, because I'm just like so used to it. And so like it's hard.
Desensitized.
Yeah, because like I think it would be different if like if video games were such that there were very few if there were very few video games where people actually died, and so it would probably, or fewer video games where people actually died, and so it would probably stand out and be a little bit more meaningful to me. But as it is, it's just like now if something dies in a video game, it's just like it just washes over me because like I'm just so used to seeing it that it doesn't even register most of the time. The only time it actually registers for me is either when it's in like a named character that is like central to the plot in some way, or if the deaths are especially cool looking, which those don't happen very often. So I feel like those stand out a little bit more to me. So it's kind of hard for me to quantify.
Oh, for sure, especially if we don't have like data to make those those calculations with.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, if we did so in this like thought experiment, whatever, if we did allow like online multiplayer to be a part of it,
yeah.
I mean, would it be for sure COD, or do you think like one of the Halo games might take it?
I think Call of Duty definitely takes it over Halo as far as like kills per minute. I think you're getting a lot more with Call of Duty.
Yeah, people are like 50,000 people just got killed in Call of Duty right now. So.
I don't mean
let's do like specific games.
I mean even like about an individual game, not like the amount of people playing those games.
Sure.
Just like a good competitive match of Call of Duty versus a good competitive match of Halo.
Right.
I think you're seeing a lot more deaths in Call of Duty.
Why?
Time to kill just seems a lot shorter.
That's true.
Yeah. It's also like faster pace.
Who used to watch professional COD.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Because you don't got shields in Call of Duty, so
yeah.
That makes sense.
But it's also just like faster paced as well.
Right. But I mean, of course, we could go even farther than that and say like Quake Arena.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. Like. Yeah. Or Counter-Strike or whatever.
The time to kill in Quake Arena is -5 nanoseconds. So, so like I think that if you were counting like PvP or some kind of competitive multiplayer, you're definitely looking at a shooter of some kind. Just because by virtue of the fact that those things are everywhere. And
I think the only like game that's outside of that genre that may like compare would be World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
As far as like numbers.
Yeah, but then like it's weird, I think, because like I was never I know that PvP is popular in in that game, but like I never engaged with it that much, so I'm never really sure how many would be accounted for there. But like, and I would probably, the touchstone that I would probably use is like when that game was at its peak, which is probably, would probably be the best like sample to use, I think.
Well, it's also like just so long standing of a game.
Yeah, 20 years almost.
And even like at its lowest peak, still has like millions of people playing constantly, and it is like. I mean, not to say that like people don't get addicted to like Call of Duty, but maybe it's just my own spheres of like playing World of Warcraft and obviously not playing Call of Duty competitively.
Yeah.
But like some people have addictions to those games and literally spend every waking moment they can playing it.
So now
and even if they're not doing PvP, they're still like normally doing quests or other stuff to gather materials. So they're still killing NPC enemies to gather that stuff to enchant.
But I think you're right, Sinead. I think that is just your sphere of influence, what you see, because like I know plenty of people who only play Call of Duty. That's the game they buy every year. They play nothing else.
But like, do they spend every single absolute second playing it?
And here's my question.
No.
Here's my question. So World of Warcraft is one game, whereas Call of Duty is many games spanning a 20-year franchise. So my question is like, are we counting like Call of Duty as a franchise, or are we just thinking
like all-time kills?
Yeah. because Call
For
of Duty,
each title?
Call of Duty predates World of Warcraft by like a year, I think. So, like they've been going about as long as each other. So, like you have to wonder, like how many kills has like, and I guess if we're counting both PvP and PvE in both instances, like I feel like Call of Duty edges out World of Warcraft. If we're using the entire franchise, yeah.
Sure. But if we're going by specific games, yeah. Who knows? It's hard to say.
And also, like, are we considering the like year or longer that the beta and alpha for World of Warcraft was happening? Do we count those as well?
I would probably be inclined to only count like full releases.
All right, fair enough.
But
I mean, if doing individual games, I mean, I feel like at that point you would need to break up the different, I guess, like updates. I'm blanking on what to call them. Expansions. Thank you. I kept wanting to call them contracts. I'm like, that doesn't even make sense, Shanae. Brain, what are you doing? But like, get your shit together. But yeah, like then you would have to separate each expansion. I think if we're gonna count each Call of Duty individually.
But I think that Call of Duty is such a behemoth that like if we are going to break up World of Warcraft into like we're gonna break up like count it. It's really funny how speculative this conversation is because we have like literally no numbers to back. But
this is just all on fifties, like, not on facts.
I feel like. And actually, it would be interesting to see these numbers because it's got to be some like ridiculously high number either way. But like Call of Duty is such a behemoth, like, and it has only grown as the series has gone on. Like, yeah, it has like games, games in the franchise that people don't like as much, but there's still a bunch of fucking people playing them.
I mean, even shit like Ghost was probably the best-selling game that year.
Right.
Know?
So, like, even with that, like, if you took, like, a singular World of Warcraft expansion and only counted what happens between the release of that expansion and the release of the next one, you're probably still, like, I feel like Call of Duty is so encompassing that whatever Call of Duty game is current at that time, which that's weird, too, right? Because, like, how often do World of Warcraft expansions come out? I don't know. Like it's
like you said, it's all speculation, right? Because like we were talking about Quake 3 Arena, like can still find games in Quake 3 Arena. You know,
that's an almost 30-year-old game.
Right? So like, and sure, is it as popular as either of those games? No. But has it ever have people ever stopped playing it? I mean, yes, people have stopped, but like there's always people playing it.
Yeah.
You know,
but as like everybody stopped playing it.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Well, that's not like. Also, the fact is, like, there's more stuff to do in WoW than just PvP, which is like what people predominantly play with, like play as Call of Duty. But like even that, like even when you're doing PvE, you're still killing shit nonstop.
Yeah.
But I think that the big thing is that you spend less time in Call of Duty not killing stuff than you do in World of Warcraft. I think. I think the time between killing this thing and killing that thing is like I think it's a wider range of time.
But also, if you're comparing, like the people, like just, I mean, MMOs are highly addictive. I'm just saying, like if you're comparing somebody who's like the average COD player, like say they have a girlfriend and a job, and the average World of Warcraft player with a girlfriend and a job, I still think the average World of Warcraft player is playing more than the COD player is.
Shanae's being a fucking Chad right now. You're making a
lot of assumptions here.
I put the same parameters on both.
Yeah.
I would say that only a small fraction of my time playing World of Warcraft did I have a girlfriend and a job simultaneously. So it's it's a weird metric, but yeah,
it's very funny.
I think regardless, this is going to have me thinking about like I'm like, because again, I'm coming to that realization where I don't think about the fact that like because in video games like violence is just like the tool to get you from point A to point B. You don't really think about it much beyond that. And so like I forget like all these games that I play where I'm sure I've killed a ton of people. You know, I can't even. I'm drawing a blank, honestly. But then people have like in the last few years, I feel like people have made this big thing about like how many people Nathan Drake kills in the Uncharted games, and I think about like how popular that franchise is and how many people have played as Nathan Drake killing all those people. And I know that like far and away Call of Duty would eclipse that number. But
yeah, people only bring that up with Uncharted because, you know, like ludonarrative dissonance, right? Like that's the only reason that's part of the conversation. Any other single player game, you kill just as many people.
Let me ask you a question, Tom.
I mean,
do you think that they bring that up?
You said earlier, the Goombas, like Mario, definitely kills more creatures than Nathan Drake does.
Do you think that they bring that up specifically so that they can use that term?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they bring it up because of the fact that Drake is supposed to be this good guy, and clearly,
Nathan Drake is not a good man, and that's not even the reason why. I think Nathan Drake is severely flawed in like different ways, but
you're not supposed to think about that is the thing, right? Like you're supposed to think like this is a fun romp, this is a fun Hollywood romp until the fourth game when things got serious. You know,
like she got real with him.
Yeah,
that nigga almost got a divorce.
It used to be here's a fun action movie, but people can't enjoy that. So,
it's also funny that like in all my 30 and a half years on this planet, I never once thought about the fact that Mario might be killing those Goombas. I thought he was just making them go night night for a little bit. And because those games came from a time where the guys disappeared from the screen, whether they were dead or just knocked out. So,
I mean, you could say the same for Contra, but you knew they were dying.
I knew they were dying because I was using a gun and they were exploding a little bit when I shot them. So, Mario didn't get a gun for like 30 years or something. So I don't know, but. I don't know have you guys even played a game recently where you like just laid waste to like a shitload of people? Because I don't feel like I have, honestly.
Fire Emblem.
Well, like anything more recently than that, though.
I mean, you kill a lot of shit in Zelda.
Yeah, but
that game is basically push puzzles and killing shit.
Yeah.
But they just disappear into black dust, so they could just be going off screen and taking a nap.
That's true.
By Ryan's logic, like the Goombas, they're just going night night.
Look, no. See, here's the thing.
They also pop back up on the the blood red moon or whatever. Yeah. So I mean, are they really dying? They get brought back to life.
Yeah.
I've killed that same Gleeok like 5 times.
Would you say that in a playthrough of I'll go with Breath of the Wild. In your playthrough of Breath of the Wild, does the number of kills, do you feel like it easily surpasses the triple digits?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
In one playthrough.
I don't think like in any Zelda game are you killing more than a lot of other games, right?
Sure.
You play through Gears of War, you're killing more stuff.
Oh hell yeah.
But like, you said stuff we've played recently, and like, yeah, you kill a lot of things in that game.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't know.
I feel like the pace of
I killed more.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Shanae.
I was gonna say I feel like I killed more Personas in one sit through in like Persona 5 than I do in
you're killing a lot of those fucking dick monsters.
Yeah. So. Well, I mean, like you said, it's the majority of games, right? I'm playing Pikmin right now, and you kill a bunch of stuff.
Kill that fucking tomato monster in the garden.
I mean, if you're bringing the spirits and Spiritfarer to the door, are you killing them? Because if so, I could. If
No,
not, then
they're
I
already-
think that's the last game I played where you
those
don't kill anything.
That's just, they're already dead and they're just going to the next plane of existence. That's not the same thing.
All right, well, that's the last game I played. I didn't kill anything.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I
Last
played
game
that.
I played without killing anything is got to be Tetris or Mario Kart. I guess you're not actually killing anybody in Mario Kart.
No, you're just inconveniencing them.
But no, I take that back because me and Berto played that astronaut game. Well, I did. I mean, my character died because I just dropped in space, but I didn't kill anything.
Yeah. Berto killed you.
Yeah, let's blame him. Yeah, I mean, this is like Tommy said, it's the vehicle that drives the games along.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like, if you had to think about it, do you think that we're like in more modern video games, do you think we're killing more things than we did before?
No.
Just about the same, less maybe?
Yeah, I say yes, only in the aspect a lot of games like Zelda and RPGs and stuff, you're killing things to gather materials.
Yeah.
And as far as like older games like Contra, like they just didn't have the system just didn't have the power to add all these extra things to do, and like you're killing basically a set amount of enemies.
Yeah.
I think like we kill more now only because there are more games now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If we're going off like a ratio thing, like I think it's probably less nowadays. Because even if you think about some of our oldest games, you know, Galaga or fucking Pac-Man or whatever, like we're killing shit in most of those. Not all of them, but most of them, you know.
You're just eating the ghost's clothes. You're not killing them.
Sure.
Yeah.
But, you know, and yeah, you could sit there and name like, you know, Marble Madness or whatever. You can name a bunch of old games where you don't kill things, but I feel like you could name more modern games where you don't.
Yeah. Well, I think that is probably, it might be because like as time has gone on, we've been able to find more things that are more interesting to do in a video game than like shooting a guy.
What do you mean?
Well, I feel like a lot of
I'm just playing, dude.
Oh, I thought you know, like there's just like video gameplay has just become so much more varied over the last like few decades that we've been alive that it's easy to kind of like be able to separate that out. But I also,
you guys know like Brutal Doom?
What's Brutal Doom?
Brutal Doom is like probably the most famous Doom mod. It just takes Doom and makes it much bloodier and gorier.
How do you do that?
Textures, but like I do sometimes think about like, and they've made like brutal mods for other games, right? Because that mod is so popular.
Yeah.
And like I always think it'd be funny to have brutal mods for games that don't have killing in them, just to add killing to them.
Like a brutal Animal Crossing.
Or yeah, brutal Animal Crossing, brutal Tetris, whatever would be very funny.
Brutal.
Like watch the fucking blocks fly apart when you get a line in Tetris.
Yeah,
that'd be fucking cool,
you can,
man.
like, throw in those Mortal Kombat rib cages.
Oh yeah,
you know?
turn all the blocks into a bunch of rib cages when you get a line. That'd be cool. You know what's funny is I thought about like I can't remember a game I can't remember the game specifically, but I have a memory of when I was younger, and I was playing this game where I was like kind of like the enemies, I was fighting enemies and I was pretty sure that I wasn't killing them, but I felt like I wanted to imagine myself killing them just to make the game more fun. And I don't know if like, and I'm wondering like, is that something that only I did, or do other people do that to make the game seem more fun? I don't know, but that's something that and so like, I guess maybe that's something that like I come to expect and sometimes even want in a game.
Your bloodlust?
Yeah, I have. You know what's funny is that like I had like I was playing Shadow of the Tomb Raider. I think that's the most recent one. And I had this weird moment where I got upset that it wasn't bloody enough because I snuck up on a guy and stabbed him in the neck with my knife, and I got mad that there was no blood in the wound or no wound at all. and my wife pointed out to me what a weird impulse that is to have. So I don't know. Violence does make video games more fun sometimes, I think. Not always. I think sometimes it can actually detract from the game. But I'd say in the games that I tend to play, that generally speaking, adds to the experience.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a reason why people would rather be playing Doom than Chex Quest, you know?
Yeah.
Not to say that Chex Quest is a bad game, because it's not, but
It's not Doom.
Yeah.
It's like, would you rather see green slime, or do you want to see some fucking blood, bro?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't even need to be red blood. I just need to know that it's blood. You know?
That Mortal Kombat blood code, you know?
Yeah, turn it from sweat into blood. But
Get that purple blood from the Wolverine game.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's weird because like there are games where you think that there would be a lot of deaths in the game, like a lot of deaths of like named characters in the game, and there aren't that many. Like I was thinking about, I can't speak to remake, but I was thinking about the original Resident Evil 1, right? And like not counting the zombies, just counting like STARS members, because those are the only fucking people in the house. And like I can only remember one STARS member actually getting got. And you would think that like there would be more of them, you know? You think that like more people would die in a game like that.
Well, and that's kind of how was back then, right? Think about all those old horror games, right? Like Silent Hill, how many people actually die, you know? Like not a whole lot.
Yeah.
It's the suspense.
Right.
Yeah.
And also, that one guy being very, very scary.
Which guy?
The one with the triangle face.
Oh yeah.
I hate triangle face. Don't ever do triangle face. I hate triangle face. Yeah, like, well, yeah, now that I think about it, it's funny because Tommy, you and I played Silent Hill 2 like not that long ago.
Yeah.
And I don't really remember if anyone actually died in that game.
Yeah.
Okay.
But very, very few.
Yeah, but there were like there are very few people in that game to begin with. So
sure.
But like, I don't know, man. Killing people in video games seems like it just seemed like thinking about it is weird now that I've spent so long not thinking about it. And now I'm probably going to apologize to every guy that I shoot in the next game that I play.
See, it doesn't bother me like at all, you know, like
no.
The whole look, it's already been debunked, right? Like regardless of what our government has been trying to say, especially recently, right? There have been zero studies finding any correlation between video games and violence, you know? Yeah. I think most of us are able to know what's pretend. But
yeah. And do you guys remember? I remember when because like you were saying, Tom, like there's been that a lot of people who have tried to lobby against video games, purporting that, you know, they're more violent than they actually are, and often finding like some of the least violent examples to prove their point. Yeah. I remember, like, I think about this like maybe once every few months, when fucking Jeff Keighley went on Fox News back in 2008 to talk about Mass Effect, because they were calling it a murder and sex simulator, and you can just you can kill anyone you want, and you could fuck anybody that you want, and that's not even true, because there are some people in Mass Effect that I wanted to F and I didn't get to, and there's some people in Mass Effect that I wanted to kill and I didn't get to.
So it'd be a lot cooler if that game was that way.
You remember when Watch Dogs came out and there was that whole thing about
fucking man
teaching people how to be hackers? Yeah.
Look, man, if I
could hack cooler,
if I could hack an ATM with my fucking phone,
yeah.
You think I'd be going to work tomorrow?
Yeah.
No. I would go hack a bank account with my fucking iPhone tonight. But you know, it's just
that's unfortunately not the world we live in.
What's funny is that like in the dumbest thing, like in Legion, like they were just like, you don't even need to be a hacker. We're just gonna give you this phone, and the phone just does everything. You don't need to know anything. And I just thought that was funny because they turned everybody into a hacker.
As far as like killing, go ahead today.
But what if that phone stops working? I need to know how to fix it.
Yeah. So,
as far as like killing things in games, like the only time it has really bothered me is like hatred kind of bothered me a little bit, rubbed me the wrong way, and then like more recent NRS games, I'm like, does it need to look so real when everything else is so fantasy and like, I don't know.
I've talked about how like I don't want things to look so real all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need that.
It doesn't bother me necessarily, but it's just like, it doesn't appeal to me as much as like Mortal Kombat 2 did. You know what I mean?
To be like so over the top, it's funny. Like I'm not even like a fan of the bokoblin dying noise where it's like squealing as it dies. I'm like, if I could turn this feature off, I would. I don't need to hear this.
Yeah.
like a lot of those, like I like it whenever they make like the grunts or dying noises like so funny. That's like, or like so like over the top. It's funny because like, yeah, it bothers me when it's like realistic. I'm like, I don't need to feel any weight behind this.
Like especially like now, like with the way that like, I think they've gotten really good. Tech has gotten really good to the point to where like they're able to like characters are able to like mimic like human facial expressions really well now, and it's like especially disturbing in like video games like Mortal Kombat when like people are getting a fatality done on them, and I'm just like, I don't like that so much. It's just making me feel. This is making me feel weird as someone who who can easily be made to feel weird about something like that.
Yeah, and I don't think it like even really makes me feel uncomfortable in any way. I just feel like it used to be more humorous than it is now.
Yeah, it's gone from like, humorous to dark.
Well, what's that? I can't remember the name of that game. There's a game that you're basically playing as Lee Harvey Oswald taking the shot. I can't remember what it's called.
Bro, what?
But yeah. And like
my exact thought, I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah, it's a real game. It's actually pretty popular. I'll get back to you on the title.
I don't want to. I would look it up, but I don't want to get put on some list.
Yeah, but you know, like that's a bit weird. You know, like that's a little weird to me.
It's like very specific.
JFK Reloaded.
Yes.
What a name.
I'm gonna be on the watch list.
Yeah. You were probably on the list, to be honest, though.
1,000%. I get a random question and I gotta Google it. I need to know all these very niche random questions, the answers for them. Otherwise, my life will not be okay.
Sure.
Well, the funny thing about that game is like it doesn't seem like it's meant to be distasteful anyway, right? It's more of a simulation than anything else. Like bullet trajectory and like ricochet and all that and blood splatter, like it's all very well simulated from what I understand, having never played it. But like at the same time, it just is kind of weird. I
just feel like you could do that without making it a JFK shooting simulator.
Yeah.
You know?
It's because like his like people related to him are still alive. We have like video of him. Like we know who JFK was. I don't know. It's like it's funny to make fun of like Henry VIII. It's distasteful to make fun of like Princess Diana.
Well,
there is just like not weird, but there is like a line there that like I don't know how to quantify it. Besides the fact that like we know what they were like. There's time and distance.
As time has gone on, my feelings have definitely changed about playing or like in any way like really engaging with games that are based on real conflicts. I just feel real weird about that now. And I feel like I'd also feel really weird about like playing something that let me like recreate like a real life assassination. I don't know. I feel weird about that, and I'm sure like plenty of other people don't, but like I don't think I could ever. Like,
well, it's weird, right? Like that doesn't like that game. I wouldn't even say it bothers me; it just kind of rubs me the wrong way, right? But then like I'm perfectly fine playing like Wolfenstein or Assassin's Creed, even though I don't really play those games. You know what I mean? Like those games don't bother me at all.
I'll kill Nazis all day, though. I mean,
yeah,
I like
and
killing
also
Nazis.
like those are very over dramatized, like what's happening, and also it's like a lot of it's false.
Sure.
It's yeah, like the murder of a president is like a real life simulation of that is quite different.
I don't even, and it's not even like I don't really even have any like feelings about JFK or anything. It just seems weird to me. But
I was pointing out the president as like it's a very notable figure that we like learned about as we grew up.
Yeah. But like that being said, I feel like I've played like a shitload of Sniper Elite, and I've definitely planned a lot of fucking slow motion X-ray nut shots. So watch a lot of testicles explode in that fucking game. Which seems like a needless detail, but also appreciated. So, but I don't know. I think all in all, if it were up to me, I would continue playing games that just make me feel cool while I'm playing them, and those more often than not involve me killing something.
I mean, yeah, like if anything, let's have more killing in video games.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like like Roller Drome. I never would have thought like Tony Hawk with guns would have been good.
But there it is.
It was great.
There it is.
Yeah. So let's just keep doing that.
I think
that new There's that new game they're advertising it, not advertising it.
Oh,
like,
fuck!
Like, they're like Pokemon with guns or
Power
whatever,
World.
Yeah.
Yeah. That game looks fucking cool.
Let's keep doing that.
I saw what looked very much like a Snorlax holding an AK-47, and I was like, this guy looks badass. So.
But also, let's give them all Wilhelm scream esque levels of sound effects, please and thank you. I don't need anything sounding like an actual dying animal.
Sure.
I want the Doom Pinky gurgle. Everything dies.
Yeah, that would be cool. That's satisfying when you get one of those, especially when you drop them with a shotgun. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I don't think guns are cool. I think guns are badass, but I think that for me, I'm totally down for more killing in video games, but I also want it to be like you brought up Roller Drome, and I was like do something, make it creative for me, like give it a little interesting little spin to it, Because I feel
more
like
battle bots, but
guns,
like take the bot out of it.
have guns.
Yeah. Yeah. Give me an actual Tony Hawk game with guns in it.
Sure.
Give me that. So.
Yeah, you want to be Tony Hawk holding a gun.
Yeah, I want to be Tony Hawk actually going out and doing the things that Tony Hawk always wanted to do.
Yeah.
So he never said that, but I know that about him.
You can tell.
You could tell just the way that he looks at people.
Yeah, this nice guy going to local skate parks, talking to kids.
Look,
all up front.
They're always they're always nice guys.
Between the psychopath underneath it, just wants to listen to the Ramones and cruise around on the AK, mowing people down.
Yeah. Man, I would hate to die to a Tony Hawk soundtrack.
I didn't even think about the skateboard being the gun.
Oh hell yeah, dude! That would be fucking cool. I'm gonna write that down.
I imagine it more like a rocket launcher while he holds the gun.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Like he has like a part on the skateboard he can step on, and like rockets will launch from the bottom of it.
You're a genius, Shanae. You know that?
I've been playing a lot of Zelda. I've been taping shit to other shit.
Yeah.
We got to add all the violence into like Just Dance and You don't know Jack.
I mean, okay, I played a You Don't Know Jack pretty recently, where in one of the games I was cutting one of my fingers off. So it was very weird and very dark.
So it just saw the video game.
It felt like that. Honestly,
Okay.
because like I don't remember what it was. Like I like answer a question or like something, and like I got it wrong, and it showed me cutting one of my fingers off. So that was pretty cool. It's probably the coolest You Don't Know Jack game I've ever played, to be honest with you. Because all the other ones I just draw dicks. So
well, there's that rap battle one with the robots.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
I'm just imagining like Animal Crossing New Horizons, but if like Tommy, Timmy, and Tom Nook have like guns to make you pay your loan. Make you pay your loan.
Yeah.
You go up to the thing and Isabel just has like that sash of grenades on her.
Yeah. Every once in a while when you go to that house, she's just sipping on a glass of whiskey. And I was wondering what's going on with her. But anyway, that's my closing thought.
If you want to let us know which games you think should have more violence in them, please let us know. Our Discord will be linked. If you can think of the best way to have a skateboard be a weapon that we did not speak about, please also let us know about that.
Yeah.
We're very interested. We have social media. We have, like I said, the Discord that will be linked. You can find us on most podcast apps. We also are on the YouTube if you want to see our faces. And bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.